OP's narcissist mom drugs OP and tattoos her name on OP's arm. Yesterday, I was watching a movie with her and my baby brother, and she asked me if I wanted something to drink. I say yes, and she brings over a cup of juice. The rest is, I don't even remember. There is no blur. There is nothing. All I remember is taking one sip and then blank. I wake up with a sore arm and don't think anything of it until it starts to hurt. I look down, and I cannot believe my eyes. Her name is tattooed on my entire arm. I could tell it was real ink because Mom works as a tattoo artist, and I've seen plenty of them. I woke up in my bed and ran towards her room to confront her. She was so carefree about it and told me it was a gift and to be happy. How can I be happy when you permanently label me with your name without my consent? After the initial shock, I then told her to take me to a tattoo laser removal place. She laughed in my face and said that I should be grateful. I couldn't believe what was happening and ran back to my room. I sat on my bed, thinking about how my life got to this point. I couldn't come up with an answer because her behavior is so irrational. I proceeded to look up information on laser removal. It said that there need to be several sessions, and each session costs a lot. I went back to her room and demanded she pay for it because I did not ask for it. She gave me a firm no and said that I would learn to appreciate it. I thought about calling the police on her, but changed my mind. I am dependent on her after all, and she knows that. I don't want to live with this for the rest of my life. I feel like ripping the skin off. I'm so mad right now. I won't do that. Don't worry, it's just. This is so awesome and depressing. What do I do? Update 1. I called the police. Mom at the station is getting questioned. I listened to the advice that most of you have been giving me. I called CPS and law enforcement. They instantly started an investigation. The first thing the officers did was take me to the hospital to get tested. They took some blood and urine. They also brought Mom in for questioning. My mom kept telling them that this whole thing is a misunderstanding, and they are wasting time. I think she called a lawyer and stopped talking to the cops. I am currently staying with the neighbors until things calm down. I have my little brother with me as well. Thank you all for the support. I needed the encouragement because this was the hardest and scariest thing I have ever done. I am so glad I did. It's like a big weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I asked the hospital staff about the tattoo and if I could have it removed, but they told me to take things one step at a time. I guess they are mainly focused on my health for now, as they should. I just want this thing off me as soon as possible. That's all I have for now. Thank you all again for the advice. Update 2. Mom is facing charges after the discovery of evidence proving I was drugged. Me and my little brother are safe at the neighbor's house, and Mom just got released on bail. After her questioning, the police received the lab results, proving my story. I was drugged, and then she took advantage by tattooing her name on my arm. An officer came by and told us that Mom has been warned to stay away from us for the time being until her court date. The district attorney's office has officially charged her, and I want justice. She will not get away with this. She's definitely going to lose that tattoo license, and I hope she spends some time behind bars. I could have unalive from the drug she used on me. The doctor said there was rohypnol in my system, which is called by some date as a drug. Many of you mentioned it as a possible drug that she used on me, and you were right. It is prescribed for people who struggle with sleeping. I sleep just fine, which explains why it knocked me out so quickly. I'm still in shock that she did this to me. I'm staying strong for my brother, but it gets really hard whenever I look at my arm. I covered the tattoo with a big bandage temporarily. I will let the skin heal as you all have advised. I personally need it removed as soon as possible though. I cannot have it covered up with something else because all it would do is remind me of this pain. I don't get why these laser treatments are so expensive. Anyway, thank you all for the kind words and overwhelming support. It means a lot. Update 3. Mom is arrested again for violating terms of release by confronting me. and saying the forced tattoo of her name on my arm is not a big deal. Me and my brother are safe at a house owned by this nice lady. CPS is having us live here temporarily while they continue investigating. I am glad they didn't separate us, since there are a couple of other kids here too. And I read a bunch of scary stories online where siblings are split upon relocation. Luckily, there is enough room in the house for all of us. It's comfortable here, and I like it. Well, it was comfortable until Mom suddenly showed up and caused problems. You may be wondering how she found the address. I was curious about that as well. It turns out there was this app installed on my phone, giving away my exact location this entire time. She bought me the phone last year, and I never knew about this app until now. I heard yelling downstairs, and Mom was arguing with the homeowner saying, "These are my kids. You have no right to keep them here." I called the police as she continued, and they got there within minutes. She was handcuffed and charged with trespassing, and maybe some other things as well. This is crazy. It's hard to believe it all. Sometimes I feel like I'm having a nightmare, hoping to wake up. But this is as real as it gets. My own mother drugged me and tattooed her name on my arm. Yup, that seriously happened to me, and I need to accept it in order to heal. Some of you asked if my dad was in the picture. He is not, and I never met him. I do have an aunt from my dad's side of the family who lives a few hours away. I told CPS, but they couldn't get a hold of her, and I haven't visited in years, so maybe that's a dead end. In the meantime, I guess we will live here until things are sorted out. I expect Mom to stay put in jail this time, waiting for the court date to come up. She deserves to be locked up for what she did to me. About the tattoo, I'm letting the skin heal and taking good care of it. I do intend to have it removed in the near future. That is all for now. Thank you all for the support. Update 4. Mom is facing justice. It's court day. It's happening. She is going to stand in front of that judge and get verbally slapped back into reality. She will learn that her behavior was so far out of bounds and illegal. I heard she even tried to postpone it, lol, because she knows it's over. Me and my little brother are still safe at the house provided by CPS. I completely reset my phone after some of you advised me to do so. Everything is cool right now, and I'm actually happy. I cannot imagine what excuses she and her lawyer are going to try to stir up. There is no escaping this. I can taste the justice in the air right now. Woohoo! Okay, that might have been a little cringeworthy, but I'm super excited right now. What do you think will be the charges? I couldn't say because she did so many screwed up things, and all of it is really complicated for me to understand. There is one thing that I am worried about though. I am about to turn 18 soon, and I don't know if they will let me stay with my brother. I don't know what will happen, and that really worries me. Any ideas? Update 5. Mom sentenced to 6 months in prison with 2 years probation. I was asked to testify and tell my side of the story about how she drugged and tattooed her name on my arm. The judge took all the information into account, and she made a deal by pleading guilty. I guess her lawyer convinced her somehow. I expected her to claim innocence and blame others like a narcissist would. I am glad she is facing justice. My brother and I are living in a nice foster home. Everything is good, and I'm happy. Update 6. I am finally beginning the process of having the tattoo my Mom forced on me removed. It's been a while since I last updated, and I thought it was time. My brother and I are safe at the same foster home. The kind lady is allowing me to stay after I turn 18 next month. I just had to promise that I would be productive and helpful around the house. Of course, that is not a problem, and I am more than happy as long as we are away from Mom, who is still facing justice in prison as I type this. Yesterday, I visited the laser treatment clinic and made an appointment for next week. This will be the first session of, I forget how many, but a lot. I kept the tattoo and skin healthy over the past few months. Many of you have provided great advice, and I appreciate it. It will be a long process, and I'll figure it out along the way. Thank you for all the love and support. Update 7. Mom sent me an email from prison. And Mom has been in prison for a few months now for drugging me and tattooing her name on my arm, and I haven't been contacted by her until today. I forgot to create a new email after all that has happened lately. Of course, she began the letter by talking about herself and how terrible it is in prison. She then said that I am cold-hearted for not visiting or calling. I sat there staring at the screen, shocked at how oblivious she is to her actions, even after facing punishment behind bars. The letter continued with her mentioning how the tattoo was an act of love and that I shouldn't remove it. Well, too late for that because I already began laser removal treatments. It's going to take a while, as it is a long and expensive process. And Mom concluded by asking for my forgiveness. No way. There is a 0% chance I am forgiving her for permanently damaging our family. My little brother and I are all we have left. She is no longer in the picture, and we will survive and thrive without her. I have to admit that I am feeling more and more anxious as her release date approaches in about 3 months. Don't worry, she doesn't know the address of the foster home we are staying at. But I just don't know what she'll try to do once she's free. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.